Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Cup English. I'm Liam.
And I'm Chloe. Thanks so much for joining us today. Whether you're listening on your way to work, while walking, or just relaxing with a cup of coffee, we're really happy you're here.
Yeah, seriously. This podcast is all about learning English through real conversations, the kind people actually have in daily life.
Exactly. No pressure, no complicated grammar lessons, just natural English, real thoughts, and real experiences.
And before we jump in, a quick reminder. If you enjoy listening to Daily Cup English, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow us.
We upload new podcast episodes every single day, so you can practice English a little bit each day without feeling stressed.
Daily English, just like your daily cup of coffee.
I love that. And if this podcast helps you even a little, feel free to share it with a friend who's also learning English.
All right, Chloe, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty well, actually. It feels like that time of year when everyone starts thinking about change, you know?
Yeah, I totally get that. There's something about a new year that makes people stop and reflect.
Exactly. We start asking bigger questions about life, work, relationships, and ourselves.
Which is a perfect lead-in to today's topic. So today on Daily Cup English, we're talking about 2026, the year you choose yourself.
When I first heard that title, I thought, wow, that sounds powerful, but also kind of uncomfortable.
Same here, because choosing yourself sounds simple, but it's actually really hard.
Yeah, a lot of us are used to choosing others first, our family, our boss, our friends, even strangers.
Or choosing what looks good on social media.
Exactly. We choose what's expected, what feels safe, or what makes other people happy.
And sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it. We just wake up one day and feel tired or stuck.
I think that's why this topic matters so much. Many people go through their whole life without ever truly choosing themselves.
And when we say choose yourself, we don't mean quitting your job tomorrow or cutting everyone out of your life.
Right, it's not about being selfish or careless.
It's about asking yourself a very honest question. Is this life I'm living really mine?
That question can be scary because the answer isn't always what we want to hear.
True, but 2026 feels like a good time to start asking it.
A fresh year, a fresh mindset. Not perfect, not dramatic, just more honest.
In this episode, we'll share our own experiences, different opinions, and maybe even disagree a little.
But that's the point. Real conversations, real thoughts.
So if you're listening right now and you feel like you've been putting yourself last,
Or you're not sure what choosing yourself even means yet?
stay with us. This conversation is for you.
You know, Liam, when people hear the phrase choose yourself, a lot of them immediately feel guilty.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. It almost sounds wrong to some people, like you're saying forget everyone else.
Exactly, especially if you grew up learning that being a good person means putting others first all the time.
Right, being helpful, being nice, not causing trouble.
But the problem is, when you always choose others, you slowly disappear from your own life.
That's a strong way to put it, but it's true.
I think choosing yourself doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you finally care about yourself, too.
I agree. For me, choosing myself started with very small things.
Like what?
Like saying no without giving a long explanation, or admitting that I was tired instead of pretending I was fine.
That's actually really hard for a lot of people.
Yeah, because we're afraid of how others will react.
Or we're afraid they'll think we're selfish.
But here's the thing. When you never choose yourself, you don't become kinder, you become resentful.
Yes, and that resentment shows up in small ways. You get irritated easily, you feel angry for no clear reason.
And then you wonder, why am I like this?
I've been there. I used to say yes to everything. Extra work, social plans, favors, even when I had no energy.
Let me guess, you felt proud at first, and then exhausted later.
Exactly. At first, I felt useful, needed, but over time, I felt invisible.
That's such an important point. Choosing yourself is about respecting your own limits.
And your feelings, even the uncomfortable ones.
Yeah, especially those.
Some people think choosing yourself means making one big dramatic decision.
Like quitting your job or moving to another country.
But most of the time, it's quieter than that.
It's choosing rest instead of pushing yourself one more hour.
Choosing honesty instead of pretending.
Choosing peace instead of always trying to prove something.
I really like that, and I think 2026 feels like the right year to talk about this because so many people are tired.
Tired mentally, emotionally, even physically.
We've been running for years without stopping to ask why.
So maybe choosing yourself in 2026 isn't about becoming someone new.
Maybe it's about coming back to who you were before you started pleasing everyone else.
That's powerful, Chloe.
And a little scary.
Definitely scary, because when you choose yourself, not everyone will understand.
And that's where the real challenge begins.
You know, Chloe, when you said that choosing yourself can be scary, that really hit me.
Yeah? Why's that?
Because for a long time, I didn't choose myself. I didn't even realize it back then.
What was happening?
I stayed in a job I didn't enjoy for years, not because I loved it, but because it looked stable.
Stable sounds good on the outside.
Exactly. Good salary, good title, no big risks. Everyone around me said, "You're lucky, don't complain."
And that made it harder to speak up.
Yeah, I felt like I wasn't allowed to feel unhappy, so I just ignored that feeling.
What did that do to you?
Honestly, I became numb. I woke up, went to work, came home, and repeated the same day again and again.
That sounds exhausting in a quiet way.
It was. I wasn't crying or angry, I was just empty.
I can relate to that more than I'd like to admit.
Really?
Yeah, for me, it wasn't work at first. It was relationships.
Go on.
I spent years trying to be the easy person, the one who understands, the one who doesn't ask for too much.
That sounds familiar.
I adjusted myself to fit other people's expectations. I laughed when I wanted to speak. I stayed quiet when something hurt me.
And did anyone notice?
Not really. And that's the painful part. When you don't choose yourself, people don't thank you for it. They just get used to it.
That's such an honest truth.
I remember one moment clearly. I was sitting with friends and everyone was talking over me. And I suddenly thought, do I even exist here?
Wow.
That was the moment I realized something was wrong. Not with them, with me.
Because you weren't showing up as yourself.
Exactly. I was present, but not really there.
I had a similar moment, actually.
What happened?
One Sunday night, I felt anxious for no clear reason. Then I realized I was already dreading Monday morning.
Every week?
Every week. And I thought, is this really how I want to live the rest of my life?
That question changes everything.
It does, but asking it doesn't mean you immediately know the answer.
True. Sometimes choosing yourself starts with just admitting, I'm not okay.
And that alone takes courage.
I think many listeners might be in that place right now.
Yeah, not sure what to change yet, but feeling that something isn't right.
If that's you, you're not weak.
You're actually becoming aware.
And awareness is the first step toward choosing yourself.
You know what's interesting, Chloe? Choosing yourself doesn't usually fail in big moments.
Yeah, it fails in the small ones.
Exactly. The moments that seem too small to matter.
Like when someone asks you to do something and you say yes before you even think.
Even when your schedule is already full.
Or when you're tired but you still reply to messages right away because you don't want to seem rude.
I do that all the time.
Me too. And then later I ask myself, why didn't I just rest?
It's funny how we treat rest like a basic need instead of a reward.
That's so true. We tell ourselves, I'll rest after I finish this, but there's always something else to finish.
Another big one is comparison.
Oh yeah, scrolling through social media and suddenly feeling behind in life.
Even when you were feeling fine 5 minutes ago.
And then you start questioning your choices, your speed, your path.
That's a moment when you stop choosing yourself and start choosing other people's timelines.
I love how you said that. Other people's timelines.
Because everyone's life looks different, but we forget that.
Another everyday situation is at work.
Let me guess, staying late when you don't really have to?
Yes, or taking on extra tasks because you don't want to disappoint anyone.
Even though no one asked you to sacrifice yourself.
Right, we create pressure in our own minds.
And then we feel tired, but also guilty for feeling tired.
That guilt is everywhere.
It really is. Guilt for resting, guilt for saying no, guilt for choosing peace.
I think choosing yourself in daily life is about noticing these moments.
Not judging yourself, just noticing.
Exactly, saying, oh, I did it again, instead of, I'm a terrible person.
That awareness slowly changes how you respond next time.
Maybe next time you pause before saying yes.
Or you don't answer that message right away.
Or you close the app and take a deep breath instead of comparing.
Those small choices may not look dramatic.
But they add up.
They slowly build a life where you don't feel like you're constantly abandoning yourself.
And that's what choosing yourself really looks like in real life.
Chloe, can I ask you something a bit challenging?
Of course, go for it.
Do you think choosing yourself is always the right thing to do?
That's a good question. My first answer is yes, but with some limits.
See, that's where I sometimes hesitate.
Why?
Because life isn't just about us. We have responsibilities, family, work, people who depend on us.
I agree. Choosing yourself doesn't mean ignoring those responsibilities.
But I worry that some people might use choosing myself as an excuse.
An excuse to avoid hard things?
Exactly, to walk away when things get uncomfortable.
That's fair, but I think there's a difference between discomfort and harm.
Explain that.
Discomfort is doing something that's hard but meaningful. Harm is staying in situations that slowly destroy you.
That's a really important distinction.
Choosing yourself doesn't mean avoiding all discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable.
So you're saying choosing yourself isn't always the easy option.
Most of the time, it's actually the harder one.
I like that perspective.
For example, staying in a job you hate because you're scared, that's not responsibility, that's fear.
But providing for your family, even when it's tough, that's responsibility.
Exactly. Choosing yourself means being honest about which one it is.
I think where I struggle is balance.
Me too. Balance is tricky.
Sometimes I ask myself, am I choosing myself or am I just tired today?
That's such a real question.
And I don't always know the answer.
I don't think we're supposed to always know. Choosing yourself isn't a perfect science.
It's more like a conversation you keep having with yourself.
Yes, you check in, you adjust, you learn.
So maybe the real danger isn't choosing yourself too much.
But never choosing yourself at all.
That feels true.
Because when you completely ignore yourself, everyone loses, including the people you're trying to take care of.
That's a powerful way to put it. A burned out version of you can't give their best to anyone.
So maybe choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's responsible.
I couldn't agree more. I think work is probably the place where most people forget to choose themselves.
Oh, 100%.
Because work is tied to money, security, and identity.
And fear, a lot of fear.
Fear of losing your job, fear of falling behind, fear of being replaced.
So we push ourselves past our limits and call it being professional.
I used to think burnout was a sign that I wasn't strong enough.
Same. I thought, everyone else is handling this. Why can't I?
But burnout isn't weakness, it's a signal.
A signal that something is out of balance.
Choosing yourself at work doesn't mean quitting right away.
Sometimes it just means admitting, this pace isn't healthy for me.
Or realizing that success, as you defined it years ago, doesn't fit anymore.
That was a hard lesson for me.
What changed for you?
I noticed that even on weekends, I was thinking about work. I felt guilty for resting.
That constant mental pressure.
Exactly. I wasn't present anywhere, not at work, not at home.
So what did choosing yourself look like in that situation?
Honestly, it started with small boundaries.
Like,
Not checking emails late at night, taking lunch breaks seriously, saying no to tasks that weren't really mine.
that sounds simple, but it's not easy.
No, it's not. Especially when you're afraid of being seen as lazy.
Or not ambitious enough.
But here's what I learned. Being exhausted all the time doesn't make you successful.
It just makes you tired.
Exactly. And over time, tired turns into resentment.
I think a lot of people in 2026 are rethinking what they want from their careers.
Not just more money or a better title.
But more time, more peace, more meaning.
Choosing yourself at work might mean changing jobs.
Or it might mean changing how you see your job.
Either way, it starts with listening to yourself instead of ignoring the signs.
And trusting that your well-being matters. Work is one thing, but relationships, that's where choosing yourself gets really complicated.
Yeah, because emotions are involved.
And history, and expectations.
A lot of expectations.
I think many people stay in unhealthy relationships longer than they should.
Not because they're happy, but because they feel guilty leaving.
Or they don't want to hurt the other person, but they end up hurting themselves instead.
That's the part people don't talk about enough.
Choosing yourself in relationships often means setting boundaries,
And boundaries make people uncomfortable.
including us.
I used to think boundaries were walls,
Same, like you were pushing people away.
but now I see them more like doors.
I like that. You decide when to open them and for whom.
Exactly. Without boundaries, everyone has full access to you, even when they shouldn't.
I had a friend who constantly complained about her life but never wanted to change anything.
That's draining.
It was, and every time we talked, I felt exhausted afterward.
So what did you do?
At first, I felt bad for feeling tired. Then I realized my feelings were trying to tell me something.
That the relationship wasn't balanced.
Yes, I was giving emotional support, but not receiving much in return.
And choosing yourself meant stepping back.
Exactly. Not cutting her off completely, but limiting how much energy I gave.
That's such a healthy example.
It didn't feel healthy at first. It felt selfish.
But over time,
Over time, I felt lighter, more present in other parts of my life.
I think romantic relationships are another big area.
Definitely. People stay because they're afraid of being alone.
Or because they've already invested so much time.
But time invested isn't a reason to stay unhappy.
That's a hard truth.
Choosing yourself might mean leaving.
Or it might mean speaking up for the first time.
Either way, it requires honesty.
And courage.
Lots of courage. So, Chloe, after talking about work, relationships, and social pressure, what do you think choosing yourself looks like in 2026?
Honestly, I think it's less about big dramatic changes and more about small practical decisions.
Yeah, like noticing when you're tired and actually resting.
Or speaking up when something bothers you instead of pretending everything is fine.
And being okay with imperfection. 2026 doesn't have to be the perfect year.
Exactly. You don't have to suddenly have your life completely figured out.
Sometimes choosing yourself is as simple as slowing down, breathing, checking in with yourself.
Listening to your body, your mind, your feelings.
Even small acts count. Saying no to one extra task, going to bed earlier, taking a quiet walk.
Those tiny choices build momentum. Over time, they make a big difference.
And we have to be patient. Choosing yourself isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice.
Yes, and it's okay to stumble along the way. We're human.
So, practical mindset for 2026? Notice, pause, choose, even if it's small.
Slow progress is still progress.
Exactly. And don't forget to be kind to yourself.
Kindness to yourself is the first step towards genuine change.
And it sets the tone for the rest of your year.
2026 can be the year you listen to yourself more, care for yourself more, and finally trust yourself.
It doesn't have to be perfect, just honest.
And courageous, even in small ways.
That's right. Small courage adds up. Before we wrap up today's episode, Chloe, I want to speak directly to anyone listening right now.
Yes, if you're listening and you've been feeling tired, stuck, or like you're always putting yourself last, this one's for you.
You're not alone. So many people feel the same way, even if it doesn't look like it on the outside.
And it's okay to admit it. It's okay to say, I'm not okay.
That's the first step towards change.
Choosing yourself doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. Some days will feel easier, some days harder.
And that's fine. It's normal. You don't need to compare your progress to anyone else.
You don't need permission to take care of yourself. You deserve it.
And remember, small choices matter. Even tiny acts of self-care, honesty, and boundary setting are steps towards a life that feels right for you.
We hope this episode encourages you to pause, reflect, and maybe try one small step today.
And if you're learning English at the same time, thank you for letting us be part of your journey. Daily Cup English is here to practice, reflect, and grow together with you, one episode at a time.
Exactly. You're not just choosing yourself, you're choosing your growth, your well-being, your life.
And that's the most important choice you can make in 2026.
So take a deep breath, listen to your own voice, and remember, it's okay to put yourself first sometimes.
All right, Chloe, I think that wraps up today's episode.
Yes, it's been such a meaningful conversation.
To everyone listening, remember, choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary.
It takes courage, patience, and sometimes a little discomfort, but it's worth it.
So let 2026 be the year you start listening to yourself more, the year you put your well-being first.
And even if you stumble, it's okay. Every small step counts.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to Daily Cup English.
And follow our podcast every day. We release new episodes daily to help you practice English naturally while reflecting on life.
Share this episode with a friend who might need a little reminder to choose themselves.
And leave a comment or reaction. We love hearing your thoughts and experiences.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
Take care of yourself, choose yourself, and remember, your life is yours to live.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.